Spring is the time for home improvements, as you know. It's when we would normally expect quite a high throughput of new business to start tire kicking the whole process, really. And of course, off the back of the post-Christmas advertising, we are and have been very, very busy with working on quotes and plans for clients, and we had a very healthy order book. I don't mind mentioning numbers really, but we're looking at an order book worth just under £500,000 of contracted business that all had fitting dates associated with it, and that represents about 2.5 months' work. And of course, it's just ground to a halt. It stopped, but life carries on, but barely. As far as new business is concerned, that has now dried up. We have to be honest and say that. I think that the public are still in a bit of a shock and awe phase of this whole process. And although we're maintaining a good, healthy presence on our social media, we're not actually seeing new inquiries coming through just yet. But I think quite probably over the Easter weekend and beyond, we're going to start seeing some interest coming through again. Because people are getting bored at home, and they're not going to be going on holiday this year, sadly. So what are they going to do instead? And the hope is that when we come out the other side of this, that they buy a new kitchen. The developers that we deal with, they were all hoping to carry on. I mean, and I think that's made quite a bit of news over the last few weeks, that the construction industry just wanted to carry on regardless. And we had... not hopes of, but I think because we were part of that chain, then we had a number of our developer clients who had orders in the pipeline that they were insistent we carried on placing with our suppliers, because they were expecting to be able to keep their sites open. And of course, now what's happened is that one after the other, like dominoes, they've all folded and shut the gates on their sites. But we've still got kitchens that are coming in from Germany that we weren't able to postpone or cancel. That are going to take delivery, fill up the warehouse that we'll have to pay for, but we haven't got an immediate customer for. We've done what we can do ourselves initially, so I think things like talking to landlords about having rent holidays, sorting out the rates with the council, sorting out the grants with the government as well via the council, talking to service providers such as electricity power companies and such like, and agreeing payment holidays with those people as well. We've done all of that. We've of course also approached our suppliers and on bended knee pleaded with them to give us a bit longer to pay our current ledger. And in some cases they've been understanding, and in other cases they've been a little bit more insistent that we pay. And I can't honestly blame any of our suppliers for wanting their money. They've done nothing wrong any more than we have. This is a situation that's been forced on all of us. And certainly as far as suppliers are concerned, we're going to need them every bit as much as they need us when we come out the other side of this. So to hang them out to dry and not pay them at this stage, to me, seems very unreasonable. But at the end of the day, there's only so much cash in the business, and it will run out at some point if we don't get some support from the government. So that's where the CBILS, the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, kicks in theory. Now that's proving to be a massive problem, because the wording of the way the scheme has been set up by the government has basically put all the risk in the hands of the banks. And the banks are looking at it and they're going, this doesn't work for us. We're being expected to lend lots of money to these small businesses or medium-sized businesses and take all the risk. And in most cases, they're simply not prepared to. They're looking at the business case as a pure business loan application. And if you don't tick the boxes, you don't get the money. We went through the whole process last year of separating the business from my personal life and getting all the securities removed that were on there for the business loans that we had previously that we paid off, and making the business a nice, clean, separate entity from my personal life so that I could retire in peace and comfort. Right. And for me to now be expected to put all of that back at risk again for the business is a difficult one for me to take on. I have no choice. I've got 14 full-time members of staff that rely on our business for their livings, and I have an obligation to them, which I will, of course, live up to. But it means the negotiations with the bank are continuing, and until the money actually hits the bank account, then over the next couple of weeks, we slowly but surely run out of cash. I've always been one of those people that my glass has always been half full. And so it will continue to be. There's no other way of looking at it. As I say, I know that as a business, we've got the best part of a £500,000 order book of confirmed deposited jobs that are going to need installing almost as soon as the lid is taken off this situation. And from my point of view, the business's point of view, the bank's point of view, those are all positives that make us a viable business to lend to. Even if it then takes us 3-4 years to pay ourselves out of the debt that we put ourselves into as a consequence. The frustration, of course, is that it's just not our fault. Why should we even need to be borrowing this money in order to get ourselves out of a situation that we didn't create? We've got a perfectly profitable business that's never had a year when it hasn't made money. And the likelihood is that for the next couple of years, we probably won't make any money again. We'll be lucky to break even just because of servicing a loan that we didn't want. And that's very, very frustrating. And of course, again, back from a purely personal perspective, looking at retiring and living off the fat of my business, well, my dividends are shot to pieces now, aren't they? If you go to the bank and say, look, here's the downward curve of our finances, and we've got nothing at the other end of it that is going to make us come back up the other side of it, then we're not a very good case for lending to, are we? But when we go to them, well, here's the downward curve, but look, we're going to be doing that more or less as soon as we come out the other side of it, and here are the numbers that we can quantify, then it makes us a much more lendable proposition. And certainly the conversations I've had with the bank up to now, although no money is yet appearing in our account, but certainly the conversations I've had with our business relationship manager and her boss have all said that basically we're a good case. We're one of the businesses they want to support.